to return after dealing with a blood clot in his shoulder. Here's what he told reporters at L'Equipe over the weekend. Quote, I'm officially cleared to return. It just happened. I got the green light from the Spurs medical staff just a few hours ago. Phew, I'm finally able to play a bit of basketball again. All right, everyone has said that he could be the best player in the world at some point. Now, his health is back in order here, and that scares behind him. Is he finally going to be able to reach that designation this season?
I mean, if he gets in the conversation this season, that is a tremendous development for the Spurs. And look, he has shown he's the best defensive player in the world right now. Offensively, he's still very much a work in progress, a developing prospect. They've added some pieces around him. They've got a really impressive young core. For Wemby and for the Spurs, he didn't have to make a leap to the top. They're not going to make a leap to the top this year. You want them to get in the thick of things in the Western Conference to be competitive, to compete for a playoff spot.
So, Mark, we saw Dylan Harper in that highlight. He looked really good in that game. They've got Dylan Harper. They've got the reigning Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. De'Aaron Fox is there. They do have some pieces, albeit young.
Being pushed.
Yeah.
Look, his roster is great. There's no wasted roster spots. I expect them to take a leap. He has so much talent around him now that he doesn't have to put the entire franchise on his back. Yes, he is a star of this team, but like, if Vassal's coming off the bench, Barnes coming off the bench, like, you got two rookies that I expect to make an immediate impact on this team. I'm expecting big things from the Spurs.
Yeah, and look, they always do a really good job of development, I would say as well. When you think about it, like, look at historically, they're one of the teams that has done a fantastic job mining the G League over their history. You know, the Austin Spurs, you always have guys being called up. They got this guy, Jones Garcia, who I saw balling out at Summer League. That's a guy, even though the backcourt is crowded, could be someone you have there. All right, UD, what do you think?
I mean, I love the roster. I love it. And also, let's not forget about bringing Luke Kennett over from Boston and what he was able to do in the playoffs for those guys. So that's another guy who has championship, experience and, has that expectation, knows what it's like to be in a locker room like that. So I love the pieces and everything they put around him. I love what Victor is able to do offensively and, of course, what he's able to do defensively. I would love for him to cut those threes down. I know he shoots around 8 or 9 threes. I'm a little old school. I want him to get in there and dominate a little bit more with his size. But, sky's the limit for Victor Wembanyama. I just think this team needs a couple more mango seasons. You're out there in the West, and everybody is continuously getting better. And, it's a lot of ground for those guys to make up from where they were last year, even though they added those pieces as the West continues to get better.
Well, and I think there's such a great unknown to this roster. I think just because they traded for De'Aaron Fox in February, and we really saw a limited body of work with him and Victor Wembanyama here, and I think there is a newness, and the only way is to get better. When you're in the Western Conference, if you don't improve your roster, and I think San Antonio did that in the draft, settling with their 2 picks led by Dylan Harper and then Luke Cornett, and then they get Kelly Olynyk in a trade, they did get better, but is that good enough to get into that top 6 of the Western Conference?
Let's flash back, though, to Cooper Flagg's first game against the Lakers.
Now, that would have been the highlight of the weekend.
It would have. But he had a rough shooting night, but did all the other things, I thought. He had his shots there, but the rust didn't fall. Right.
Chip missed them all in all areas.
But he hit a ton here against the Spurs. You see him there from 3. And now putting it on the floor, finishing with the left.
Okay, a little getting down.
On tough defense, too.
But Dylan Harper, check this out on D.
Got it from his daddy, boy. His daddy had them hops, too.
Yep.
That's head. Almost hitting the head on the rim.
Now, the afro's pretty high, though, so maybe there.
Float game, second quarter.
He's nice.
Yeah, he had a little chip.
I see you back there, Tim.
In the third, back to Flagg with the miss. Harper in transition.
Got that from Manu already.
The step through. Final seconds of the third. Here's Cooper.
Hey.
Alley-oop. Some authority on that one. Fourth quarter, Flagg.
Can't press him out.
On the drive and the finish. Flagg finishes with 31 points. And here's one more for Cooper getting to the right spot.
Got one to go down there.
So Flagg after the game. Again, 31 points. Tied with John Wall. Most points by a #1 pick in Summer League history, 15 years apart. Here's Cooper after the game.
Yeah, I think I've been solid. I think I'm exhausted. You know, I'm not used to bringing the ball up like that. And, you know, every time I'm getting the ball full court, it has somebody on my hip, you know, playing 94 feet. So definitely not used to that. But I think I did a solid job of, you know, bringing up against pressure and trying to set up our different actions for sure.
So Cooper Flagg officially shut down for the rest of Summer League. So UD, how would you evaluate Cooper's first 2 games?
It was exactly what I thought it would be. I think the first game you saw his offense struggle a little bit, but you saw his playmaking, his decision-making was on point. I'm a defensive guy, so I love the fact that he was weak side defense. He was taking his 2-9, which for you people at home he was taking his time in the paint when he was on the weak side defense. He shot the gap a couple times, got a couple steals. When he had isolations on guys that were smaller on the weak side, he took advantage of that offensively. And I just love the play that he made when he got downhill and he made the game-winning 3. The second game, you saw him start to settle in offensively. He started to get to his spots. He was aggressive from all three levels. He was hitting pull-up threes when guys went under. He got to his pull-up jumper. He got in the paint. He was aggressive getting in the paint. On the other things, the defense and those different things he did was quite fair the stat sheet, but that's what's expected with a young guy when he's trying to put it together. The first game, the offense is not going to be there, and every other thing's there. Then the second game, the offense is there, and the other things aren't there. He is going to put that together. I am very encouraged by what I've seen from Cooper Flagg on both ends of the basketball court.
Well, I mean, I was encouraged just because he got better. I mean, and I think that's part of what Summer League is. It's that you're supposed to get better from game 1 to 2 and certainly experimenting. And I think what I took away from game 2 is the ability to go left. I think that was a little bit of a concern, certainly when you talk to some scouts after game 1, is something he had to work on. And it felt like he made it a priority in game 2, is that going to his left, as you see, getting to the rim, certainly the strength to finish at the rim there. That's what I took from Cooper Flagg here, and he's only going to get better. The beauty is that the other 4 players that he was on the roster with, those are probably not going to be the same players when we get going in mid-October. It's going to be Anthony Davis and P.J. Washington and Klay Thompson and Najee Marshall, and no offense to Ryan Nembhard, who's on a 2-way here, but the level of play will certainly get a lot better when we get to mid-October.
I texted with Jason Kidd this morning just to get his thoughts on Cooper Flagg. He's ecstatic, man.
I'm sure.
He said, you know, he's really mature for an 18-year-old. He plays both ends hard. Offensively, he can score and pass. High IQ defensively. Solid all around. Great young man. Lucky to be his coach. Jason Kidd.
Interesting. Yeah, listen, I mean, Jay Kidd was there talking, I believe, Katie George at the game the other day, and really was, you know, very excited to see what Cooper was able to do out there, particularly handling the ball. So, all right, we do have some breaking news.